Hello, hello, and welcome to the Morning Edge Friday Feels with the Women's Empowerment Panel. I'm your host, Nicole Giddens, health and fitness expert and Halo PR. I have my co-host here, Brooke White, with Brooke White Real Estate Services. She is a survivor expert and an entrepreneur extraordinaire. How you doing this morning, Brooke?
Wonderful. Got through that traffic.
Traffic was bad this morning. So glad to have you here. And our guest today, Meru Hunter McMahon. She is a profit improvement partner improvement partner. I was going to call her a financial consultant this morning, and she said, oh, no. I like profit improvement partner much better. It puts more positive energy in the air. She's also an author of Currencies of Life book, so we have a lot of interesting topics to talk about today during this pandemic where profits have decreased for quite a few people and people have been losing their businesses. We really want to talk about how we can save people's businesses and just empower everybody out there, really, not just women this morning. But we're going to start out with an icebreaker. So I have 7 examples of what you need to be a leader, attributes, and we're going to discuss it amongst ourselves. So the first one is get your hands dirty.
Ooh.
Do the work and know your trade. You don't have to be the most advanced technician on the team, but you must have an in-depth understanding of your industry and business. Don't act like you know it all until you know it all, right?
Very true.
What do you guys think about that?
Knowledge is power. You got to learn where you can be powerful.
That's right. That's going to take you seriously. And in your
Yeah.
business, what do you feel about that?
I think definitely leadership need to be involved, but also they need to learn to give decision-making powers to the employees.
Yeah, empower each other, right?
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
people up.
Yeah, I like that. Second one, watch what you say.
Oh, big
Watch
one.
how you personify yourself. So it says actions do speak louder than words, but words can have a direct impact on morale, for better or for worse. Be mindful of what you say to whom and who is listening. Always show support for all the team members. If someone needs extra guidance, provide it behind closed doors. Right? Like, don't belittle people.
Yeah.
Has
Nope.
that ever happened to you at work?
Luck-
She's like, me never.
I don't think that happened to
Luckily
me.
not. Yeah.
Has it ever happened to you?
No.
Oh man, it has to me. And I think it's because I oppose a threat.
Oh, it's possible.
So, but no, I think, and I think, your mannerisms too. If you get too comfortable with your coworkers, you
That's
can
true.
slip things out and be
Mhm.
kind of unprofessional about some things. So it's on all different types of levels. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
there's some people that can really kind of just turn a room cold with one phrase real quick. Like, oh.
Oh,
They say
definitely.
And in this climate, people are so oversensitive about everything. So you have to be.
I mean, that's a good point because coming from Kazakhstan originally, culturally, there are I had to kind of learn my new environment.
Right.
So it's about knowing where you can say and cannot say, or
Mhm.
who you can be open with, or who you just have to be
Or just
keep a
respect people.
distance. Yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
Yeah.
Just
Just-
knowing your environment.
Right.
If you don't know if you shouldn't say it, then you probably
Don't
shouldn't
say
say it. Insert foot in mouth. I have done that before.
I've done that.
Respect the chain of command. One of the fastest ways to cause structural deterioration, foster confusion, and damage morale is to go around your superior with something.
No,
Yeah,
don't do
you don't want to piss anybody off.
that. No.
I wouldn't appreciate it.
Oh, no, I would never.
Yeah.
That
I
would
think
be-
clear communication's always good.
Well, it's
Yeah.
good. Also, leadership should be open to, I guess, let the employees or whoever they're leading know that it's okay to discuss. Because you don't want to suppress as well, because if you suppress, then it kind of backfires later on.
Mhm.
So, I guess letting them know that it's okay to talk about certain things that bother them.
True.
Oh man, you might open up Pandora's box for that
Possible
one.
on
though.
that one.
I've had some, but they're members though; they're not coworkers. And I think that they get more comfortable with you. Where I teach my fitness stuff, and sometimes they'll just diarrhea of the mouth about their life, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about more of a work environment.
Yeah.
Like, if you need to resolve something at work, of course, I'm not talking about personal struggles,
Yeah.
but more of it, how can I resolve this so I can feel like I'm part of the team or part of the company, so I don't feel, a lot of times employees feel unappreciated because of
True.
that communication.
Oh yeah, definitely. Knowing your boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah, but make sure that they understand that you're not asking about what's going on at home.
Oh yeah.
Very true. Leave that at the door.
Well, then you're, invading someone's privacy as well, so that's not cool. Okay, listen to the team. So that's all a part of that too. As
Yeah.
leaders, sometimes we are so consumed with providing directive, giving orders, and talking that we forget to stop and listen. If the recruitment and training engine is functioning well, you should have a whole team of experts to turn to for advice. I like that.
Yeah.
Very, very true. Take responsibility. As the saying goes, it's lonely at the top. Blame rolls uphill. Great leaders know when to accept that mistakes have been made and take it upon themselves to fix them.
That's
Right?
very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. I've had, a lot of people have a hard time admitting when they've messed up.
Yeah.
And I feel that I have a more found respect from somebody if they admit they've made a mistake instead of trying to put it off on somebody else. We're all human.
Yeah, own up. Like, be real.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, take responsibility.
Yeah, get your ego out of the way.
And
Mhm.
say, how can we solve this problem together and
True.
not pointing fingers, right?
Mhm.
Okay, mistakes happen. Let's figure it out
Yeah.
how we can get over this.
That's right. But let the team do their thing. Stop micromanaging.
Oh, let them. I don't want to micromanage anyone. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
lie. I want them to do their job.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah,
you hire them.
Seriously.
You got enough stuff to do, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. And last one, take care of yourself. Wellness and fitness are essential for good leadership.
Sure.
You have, seriously, people need to take that. They need to take their business just as seriously as their overall health, treating
Mhm.
your body like a temple. It's all
Yeah.
fixed in. We were just talking before the show about, body, mind, and soul wellness, your spirituality connecting
Yeah.
to your business decisions and
Yes.
things like that. And that's all about how you feel.
Right.
If you're not feeling well because you're not taking good care of yourself, then you're not going to make the best decisions, right?
Definitely.
So, all right. So moving forward. So Maru, you wrote this book, Currencies of Life, and I was very intrigued when you started telling me about the substance and the content of the book, about how you have admitted dialogue that if your emotions are more involved in something that you haven't fixed in just previous situations in life, it can affect how you spend your currency in business. So tell me a little bit more about that in your book.
So the book, I wrote it using my personal, professional, and cultural experiences. So what I tied is, being in financial background professionally, that was my strong point. But then personally, I struggled like all of us do, right? So I kind of started questioning what is like real wealth means. Like, what is it like? I know that a lot of people, like when you say what is wealth, they always say money, or it has to be like materialistic things, right? But after like researching and talking to many, many people, I realized that a lot of people do not understand their inner self struggle. So they kind of use money to cover it up. So with the book, I came up with a concept is called Trinity of Abundance, where you have to, work on your inner self, bring spirituality into it, as well as work with your finance area. So it's all kind of ties together. But how do you get there? So I created 7 steps, and I call it Wealth Accelerator Method, which is helps you to basically live a debt-free life inside out. So not just like abandon your inside and just try to look good outside and struggle. And so that's where I was, passionately, and like I say, these steps I did just come up overnight. I used my own life experiences. I used it on my own life. And like I said, I healed my own relationships. I healed my marriage. And so it works, right? And of course, a lot of times, like some of my readers contact me saying, "Hey, we don't like this part of your book, or we don't like." And so I know that a lot of times when people read something or people like hear from other people, if they don't align with their beliefs or what they know, they try to reject it. And that's what I say. This is just book. I'm not putting my belief on you. What I'm saying is these are the steps I have taken to be fulfilled, to be happy, to be thankful to little things I have every day, right? So with that being said, I feel like just go with it with open mind and just take the steps. I'm not really pushing my spirituality or telling you believe in this God or this God, but I'm saying that it makes a huge difference. So like I say, spirituality is a broad subject, right? For somebody it is worshiping Jesus, for somebody it's worshiping a rock, I don't know. Like I mean we're all different. So I think
Jesus,
just
or
finding your own spirituality. I mean it can be yoga, right? Meditation. It can be so we're all different. That's why I say the interesting part, like coming from different culture, definitely I can say you cannot say, oh, you're doing this, it's gonna work for me. Everybody has their own road, and they just have to use the steps that I'm giving them, but use their own sense. Where are you going? For example, if somebody wants a mansion, that's their dream, right? Well, somebody just want a tiny house, so their road is not the same, especially on the expenses side, right?
That's right.
It's $1 million or millions of dollars versus maybe a few $1,000s on this end. So that's what I talk about in my book, is just helping you to go through these steps and identifying like what is that, why you spend so much money, why you broke. It's you have to figure out your inner self, try to connect to spirituality. And I think on the spirituality side, I talk about like I exercise. You know how we say, oh, we believe in God, but we kind of, if something isn't working our way, we suddenly think, oh, maybe God doesn't exist. Like we want that instant gratification, kind of like Amazon,
like
a
toddler. Mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Why can't I have that? Yeah.
So that's kind of the concept. And of course, like I said, I am a consultant, profit improvement partner, and my business, Your Savings Pro, helps businesses save money. And when I say save, it's not just like you going couponing, and it's all about like improving processes, making sure you communicate to your employees what, where to buy, what to buy, and not just say, here's a business credit card and just go spend money, right? So aligning your processes with your goal, like business plan.
And when you say spirituality, I just want to rewind it a little bit. There's a power of intention. And I think, anybody starting out their day with some type of form of meditation, focusing on not just, business, but any aspect in life. And, that could be connected to the universe. It can be connected to whatever makes them feel whole, right? So there's a big power behind that. We're all energetic beings. And where we set our positivity from the very beginning of the day with our power of intentions is what's going to attribute for, our success for the rest of the day. So, I mean, I'm surprised. So many people are so quick to be so pessimistic. It's so easy to think about the bad instead of the good and everything. And she should have just tried to find her way, not been so hard on you. What do you think about that?
Oh, no, I totally agree. I think that you're right on point with that.
And I think another thing, yesterday I interviewed Andrew, who had a brain injury from his accident. So interestingly, he says to me, everybody can have faith, but you have to believe in it.
You do.
That's right.
And I was like, yeah, it's a point. Like, we can all have faith, but if we're just gonna go talk negatively, we basically canceling off our faith, right?
That's right.
So if we say, I'm gonna have a good day today, then you have to believe it till the end of the day, right? And don't say you get out of the house, oh, I'm stuck in traffic, and then turn your day to be a bad day. So, and I thought it was interesting point, like you have to believe in everything, not just faith. So if you, even at work, you have to believe in your skill sets. You have to believe in your abilities to do classes, for example.
I think I can. I think I
can.
It's that book that we read when we were little kids.
Yes.
Seriously. We're going to get ready to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about your business and give some advice to people out there of how they can conserve that bottom line and really profit in this time with the pandemic. So stay tuned. We'll see you guys in a minute.
We've been out of control since we got hit back in March 2020. Mortality rates keep climbing. Infection rates go up and down and then back up again. How long will this go on? No clear answer. Will a vaccine even be effective as this virus continues to spread and to mutate? No clear answers there either. I'm a trained nutritionist, herbologist, personal trainer, behavior modification, and stress sciences expert. I'm also a COVID-19 and pneumonia survivor. I've watched the continuous wall-to-wall news coverage, and while yes, wearing a mask and social distancing are crucial now, you're not being given important tools that you need in order to fortify your first line of defense, your best line of defense, which is your own immune system. What's going on here? There are simple, affordable, and natural ways to help build your immune system to fight any virus or bacteria now, and it starts inside of you. That's why I need to invite you to join me for Beyond the Mask, an intimate talk about vital ways to immediately begin boosting your immune system. Are you worried about the potentials of a second wave? Are you concerned now that your immune system may not be strong enough? Let me show you now the changes that will allow you to optimize it. Let me show you how to maximize your exercise benefits in a 12-minute routine that you'll do every other day to easily increase your metabolism, strengthen your respiratory and immune systems, and give you better circulation throughout your body. Listen, sugar feeds both bacteria and viruses. Let me show you ways to kick that sugar addiction now and to get some weight off. Let me share with you keys to better nutrition that boosts your immune system. We are all under too much stress, and stress weakens your immune system. It single-handedly leaves you vulnerable to all kinds of health issues and infections because stress reduces your immune cell numbers and their ability to function. Let me show you tools that you'll easily integrate into your daily life now to naturally reduce your stress cortisol response. I also want you to know about some nutritional supplements that have been shown to naturally improve your immune system and your overall health. Since January, there have been over 700 studies released worldwide on the relationship between COVID-19 and vitamin D3 deficiency. You need to know why. You want to improve your own immune defenses now, want to take back your control? Sign up today for Beyond the Mask and join me as I give you information and tools to easily get you back on track towards a healthier overall immune system now.
Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Morning Edge Friday Feels Women's Empowerment Panel. I have my co-host here, Brooke White.
Hello.
And our guest today, Meru
I know. It's pretty.
Meru Hunter McMahon. And we're talking about her book, Currencies of Life. And she's also a financial consultant. She has a very proper term for her. I'll let her introduce herself on that one, where she helps corporations save a lot of money. And I think in this pandemic right now, it's the climate. It's the conversation that we just need to be having.
Right.
How'd you get started?
So with my background in corporate procurement, which is supply chain, all about cost savings, all about improving processes and managing suppliers properly so they don't keep raising their prices. So that's where I started, and then I had to be home to take care of my kids, and one day I thought, well, why not use my skill sets to help smaller businesses around Houston? So that's how Your Savings Pro was born, and now I help them. And I think a lot of times small businesses, they basically, especially the leaders in the small business, they do everything, right? They do administrative, and they're the marketers, they're the salespeople.
Everything.
So I think when it comes to cost reduction or improving processes, that gets overlooked because it's like they're busy increasing sales and they think they have the money, but what they don't know is that majority of businesses, in my experience, they're leaking between 5 to 25% of their income.
Oh, wow.
And so that's where I say we need to look into what is broken in the process and where we can identify, improvements to help you. So bottom line improvement.
Yeah, and there's a lot of suppliers or marketers that will come out and provide this tremendous presentation of a marketing campaign where they say they can determinize their market value, and it's basically a proposal that they just slap their logo on, that they didn't differentiate it from one business to another, and they throw all these bells and whistles on there, and that business owner, not knowing any better, goes, wow, okay, and just start stitching out the money before they do the research, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful. And so you help provide them with the research to let them know what's going to correlate best with their business.
Yes, so that's a good point actually. When they're looking for any type of services or products, they need to basically do a sourcing. Sourcing meaning you identify, let's say, top 3 companies you would like to work with, and then you need to make sure it fits your needs. Don't get like distracted by all these nice things that in the end of the day you may not need it. You may just need $100 service instead of $1,000 service. Because most of the time, if you have 10 items come with it, you may be only using one because you just came out, or depending on how many years you were in business. So it is important. The second aspect important in sourcing process is knowing your market rates and market things, so you're not being overcharged. So if you know your numbers, if you know what you want, you can negotiate better and say, hey, I don't know why you're selling this mask for $5 when the market rate is 99
That's
cents.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you say that, then they basically know they can't just add up all this percentage to you. And I understand, like I said, sometimes suppliers come back and say, hey, for example, paper cost is going up, I need to increase my prices. You need to be able to say, hey, I want to see where that's coming from and know your numbers. A lot of times they like, okay, here, they just pay them.
Oh, yeah.
And actually salespeople are good at it because they're going to say, oh, they just make up stuff. And like I say, you build trust with your suppliers, but you also have, I call it trust but verify. You trust them, you build relationship with your suppliers, but you also have to check, like I say, quarterly basis or at least once a year. Do analysis and say, okay, why the price went up?
We're in a competitive market. I mean, even for your own personal uses for devices, what you pay on your cell phone, what you pay on your insurance. I mean, we've really revamped all our costs at home.
Right.
And I was able to drop costs tremendously just by going through different insurance companies. Refinancing your home right now is a really good idea.
Oh, if you need to know something, call me.
So there's always something out there that can drop costs down.
Yes.
No, definitely. If you're looking to reduce cost, and again, a lot of times when people hear word reduce, they automatically think this strict diet. Like, oh, I want to eat out every day, or like they feel like such a restriction that kind of backfired on them. What I tell about, it's not what you buy, it's how you buy. So you can still buy what you want, but knowing to negotiate and knowing to use your skill sets and numbers to negotiate. Don't just say, okay, here's $100 when possibly you can only pay $50.
Yeah, why would you want to do that? On the break, we were talking about the emotional involvement with purchases, even when it comes to business. And your book brushes upon that a little bit. Let's go a little bit more in depth about that.
Yeah, I think, like I said, emotionally, a lot of times we all have a relationship with money based on our inner self struggles, right? So, for example, if I was raised in a poor family, and I feel like when I grow up, I'm gonna just buy everything, and that's kind of my coping mechanism. But it's not like a conscious thing. You don't understand why you do it. So it's important to understand why your patterns, why you have these certain patterns, like why you have certain spending habits. So it's tied. Like I know, like in my case, my pattern was I didn't want to be poor and live under the bridge. For that reason, I'm a cost
Yeah.
reduction advisor, you know? So I feel like I
Good
have
goals.
Good goals.
I have opposite reaction to it, right? But a lot of times, like I said, it's all tied to what bothers you inside. And I know that I had a friend of mine who was so afraid to run out of his money before he passed away. And so
Oh.
he had money, but he didn't spend
Oh
it.
yeah, he wants to get buried with the money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times, I think again
Coat
that
your
all
coffin.
ties back. It all ties back to your emotional state.
Yeah.
And same goes with money. If you spend money without thinking, that's coming from something internally. So you have to figure out what is it that triggers me to just go shop around when I don't need stuff, you know?
What's that instant gratification with that new shiny thing that you have?
Especially with Amazon. You order
Oh,
now,
yeah.
it's right there the next minute.
Yeah.
I'm hooked with Amazon.
I see
It's
a lot
bad.
of guilty pleasures on social media. Of
It's just
people
bad.
admitting that they're just going nuts, especially with COVID. People have been so bored.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, ding, 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 ding.
I
ding.
ordered something
and it
last
says
night.
it's on sale, so you feel good about the purchase because it's 40%
I have
off.
Prime.
Yeah.
Well, it's here the next day.
I mean, it's gonna be here
beautiful
tomorrow.
thing.
I don't have to
Yeah.
go nowhere.
Yeah.
It's true.
No,
It's
with
bad.
I read Business Insider post yesterday, and they were talking about Amazon increased their revenue by billions of dollars
Oh yeah.
during the COVID. So
Yeah.
Well,
You
and
know.
what people don't realize is retail is marked up 200%.
Yeah.
So when they're telling you it's 40% off, they're
It's-
still making a huge
oh,
They're
profit
making a
on
huge
that.
profit.
Yeah.
for sure, that's a
So-
trick. Actually, when I first moved, I was like, oh, it's sale, because where I came from, we didn't know have sale. You just pay what you, and you can't return it, you know, like.
Oh.
But here you can return it. Like
You
my
can-
friend was joking, you can even return toothpick after you use it.
You
You know?
can use it and
So-
return it at Walmart. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not saying
They'll
I
take
did
back
it,
anything.
but I know people that have.
Yeah.
They'll retake anything.
So they were saying that I guess Zoom also increased their revenue because everybody
Yeah,
started
I can
having a
imagine.
meeting
Yeah.
online.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, the virtual stuff is, I mean, it's
Definitely.
just so necessary right now just to get your message out there anyway. But yeah, a lot of people are in front of their computers right now, for sure.
Mhm.
So tell me about like the worst case scenario. You walked into a business and they were just a mess, and how much you saved them. And give me one of your testimonials.
So I think you don't want to like, so the profit improvement, when you're looking at improving your processes, you don't want to wait till like before you die kind of thing, right? So it's more of it, look at it as a preventative vitamin, right? You have to implement the processes and know how to negotiate with suppliers early on. You don't wait. I mean, I get a lot of calls saying we are about to close, come help us.
Oh.
You can help. You're already like drowning, you know.
Yeah.
So you can't wait. Yeah, you have to actually implement the processes when you're healthy. That way you are, you know, kind of taking care of it in advance, kind of
Mhm.
proactive,
That's
right?
right,
You're being
don't-
proactive. You don't wait.
Like working
I-
out.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
You get old, start
Yeah.
doing it. Then it's harder.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, shut it. You're old, right? Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, most of the time savings, my experience was between 5 to 25% leak on the bottom line, and majority of the time is they either purchase the service they no longer use, or they, you know, still paying for the cell phones that employee left long time ago, but
They
they
just don't
don't
even
know.
realize
No,
it.
yeah,
it's
because
automatic drafts.
automatic. There's
Oh.
nobody, you know, I mean,
Interesting.
cell phone businesses are known even at home, right? Between
Mhm.
family of 5, you realize, oh, I canceled this phone
Mhm.
10 months ago, they still charging me. So it's about looking at like your details, reports, and that's why I say quarterly analysis of your overall health. Like, okay, where is money going, where I can stop, where I can tweak. Maybe even if you have services that are bringing you income, maybe you can even pay more to that specific supplier to increase your revenue. So it's not just going, you know, this way, but knowing balance, healthy way.
Mhm.
So you're growing your sales and you're also making sure that it's not leaking on the bottom line.
Yeah, those auto shipments and the
Oh.
automatic drafts will get
That's
you
bad.
every time.
It got me last month.
Yeah.
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 It's
Yeah.
just like, oops, forgot about this one.
I have enough
Yeah.
food for the 4 days. Not gonna lie.
Plenty left.
They're set.
So if there was one, so that's one big good piece of advice. So the preventative measures, going about implementing good, healthy habits while your business is still healthy. Don't wait until you're on a decline and then wonder what happened. I like that. What else you got?
So like
Tell
I
us
said,
everything.
Yeah, like I mentioned, negotiation
Work on
is a
us.
big piece, right? Negotiation is a big piece. Knowing what you're buying, not just say, "Hey, buddy, I want to
Right.
buy it from you." Like
Yeah.
have those boundaries, like we talk about leadership boundaries. And then I think lastly is like being open. And I think the big piece, what I noticed actually is huge. Leadership hire people, but they don't give them decision-making power. And so there is this huge gap between the management and employees. Employees cannot necessarily give them improvement, anything, because like I say, when I call businesses, I say, most of the comments I hear, I hate my job, I'm looking for another job. That's an employees, right? Or they will say, I feel unappreciated. And that's because they either trying to add value, but they don't have, they can't say, okay, let's implement this process, right? So they don't have,
Right.
so I think it's very important to try to close that gap where, say, for example, if I'm an owner of business, I can say, I'm hiring you. If you have any kind of improvement, I give you green light, right? Save me money, help me improve processes.
Yeah.
And so, and on top of it, when you do that, employees will do everything and they want to be appreciated, right?
Something about
Oh,
being
they
a
do.
VIP.
Yeah.
You know, if you feel like you're important, you're
Yeah.
just your heart's going to be more into
Oh,
it.
you're
You're
way more
passionate
into
about
it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So tell our audience how they find you.
They can go to my website, yoursavingspro.com, and that's where they can contact me. Actually, I do analysis, and if you listening to this particular show, I can waive my analysis fee for you, just for you. So
Oh, I like
yeah,
that.
you just have to mention where Edge Radio.
Edge Radio.
That will be your
Nice. I
code.
like that.
Hey.
I
So
like that.
I do I do analysis. Usually I charge. I usually promise $1,000 savings
Nice.
to my analysis, because I want to, it's kind of my way of building trust, you know, in terms of if I can find you savings, then I don't charge you.
Oh man, do I know
Oh.
someone that needs you?
Yeah.
I've already got you a referral, girl.
Me too.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching the first half of the show. On our second half, we're going to have a community development director from Street Grace Charity. So y'all stay tuned and check it out. See you in a minute.
We work our whole lives to support our families. With one accident or illness, it can all be gone in an instant. Now there's a smart, affordable way to protect your family. Go to findhealthbenefits.com and discover low-cost life insurance for as little as $2 per month. Add to that a tax-deferred annuity that can help you protect your assets and grow your money for retirement. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. A critical illness can strike without warning and wipe out your life savings. In fact, it's the #1 reason for bankruptcy. Find Health Benefits offers an affordable solution. Get up to $50,000 if you get cancer, stroke, or a heart attack, giving you the peace of mind to focus on getting better while the plan helps you to pay your bills and medical expenses. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. 66% of seniors spend more time shopping for cable TV than Medicare plans. Most say because it's just too confusing. Laws change every year. The wrong plan could cost you thousands and prevent you from seeing the doctors you want. Introducing FindHealthBenefits.com. Save time, save money, see specialists without referrals. Go to FindHealthBenefits.com or call 877-235-6094 for this informative brochure. Are you a small business owner concerned about the downturn in the economy? Top business leaders like Mattress Mac and Warren Buffett will tell you that now is the time to promote your business more than ever. People need your services. Your business needs an edge. Learn about special advertising packages for small businesses right here on Edge Radio. Find out more, give us a call at 281-744-0446. That's 281-744-0446. Edge, because truth still matters.
Welcome back to the Morning Edge Friday Feels. I'm your host, Nicole Giddens, health and fitness expert. I have our women's empowerment panel and our co-host today, Brooke White with Brooke White Real Estate Services and Brianna Fetkovich with the Street Grace Charity. Your charity is absolutely amazing.
Phenomenal.
I'm so glad to have you here today, and I want the whole world to know about what these people are doing. They've saved over 200,000 kids from being abducted by sexual predators. I mean, the work they do is absolutely amazing. We have some events going on for them, and I'm so delighted to be right by y'all's side to help you guys out with their PR. They just started a Houston chapter here in Houston. So Brianna, tell everybody about it.
Sure. Well, Street Grace is an organization that fights the commercial sexual exploitation. So to break that down a little bit, that is just child sex trafficking, something that we don't realize is happening in every part of our community. It's not just something that's happening in faraway lands. It's something that affects our city and every city across the nation. And we've been doing this work for about 12 years in Georgia, and we've actually expanded out to Tennessee, LA, Florida, and here in Forest. And we've always been a child-focused organization. And we focus on children because we know that yes, there are a lot of adult women and a few men, but the vast majority is women.
Children.
You know, they tell us that when they were exploited for the first time, it wasn't at 20 or 30. It was at 13 or 14 years old. Right. And so Street Grace has always taken this upriver approach to fighting sex trafficking, because we know that's the only way we're going to end it. We can't follow the problem around. Right. We can't put all of our time, money, and our efforts into restoring survivors, which is important. That's how I got my start in this field. But if we really want to end sex trafficking, we have to stop it before it ever starts, and that's what Street Grace is all about.
I love what you guys are doing with the Gracie chatbot. So you said that they can hit 10,000 people at one time. So they're hitting the sexual predators 10,000 at one time. That's how they've saved over 200,000 kids from getting abducted. So how does that work? Is it national?
So we developed a chatbot, and we actually have a name for her. We kind of treat her like a member of the Street Grace team. Her name's Gracie. And while Gracie's not a real person, she is an artificially intelligent computer program. So what she's able to do is she is able to gather information on sexual predators, which up until this point was very difficult to do. Right. This sex trafficking is the second largest, fastest growing illegal industry, and there's a reason it got to be that way. Right. If it was easy to catch these folks or figure out what they were doing, we wouldn't be in the mess that we're in. And so we've sort of taken this technology that has really aided predators in their efforts, and we've redeemed it. Nice. And so what Gracie's able to do is she's able to pretend to be a child who is offering sex for sale on any of these 10 to 15 nefarious websites on any given city. Yeah. And so she can manifest herself in 180 unique ways. So as we speak right now, she's posing as a 17-year-old girl in San Antonio,
Right.
a 16-year-old Asian boy in Florida, and many different profiles.
You'll just never know.
Right, and so
Yeah.
what happens is when that predator is scrolling through these websites, clicks on one of our ads, he'll start a text message conversation. And he'll negotiate things like where are they going to meet up, what's it going to cost, what sex acts are going to occur, all in a way that they have no idea that they're chatting with a robot and not a real person. And then Gracie is programmed in such that when it's natural and they're going to meet up, there's really no more conversation to be had. She'll send out what we call our deterrence message. And so that is the way that we are removing the demand, because we know if there's no people out there willing to buy sex from kids, then we don't have any exploited kids. So look at a message that looks something like this. Hey, John, this isn't Sarah or Brittany or Jessica, whoever they've been chatting with. What you're doing is actually a felony in all 50 states, punishable by up to $100,000 in fines and 40 years in federal prison. Your name and your phone number are now in a permanent file accessible to state, local, and federal law.
Ah, love it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and so, sometimes we do work with law enforcement in areas. We partner up with law enforcement. We never pretend to be law enforcement, but
Right,
this
yeah.
technology aids them in what they're already doing. They're already doing these sting operations,
No way.
but this provides them with an opportunity to do it on a much higher level with a lot less cost and legwork on their part. And then, we also send those buyers a secondary message. That'll come a couple hours later. We call that our resource for help, because we know that behind every person who is seeking out to have a sexual encounter with a minor or looking at child porn or anything like that, there's something else going on there. It's just not a preference, right?
Right.
It's not like you like blondes, right? Liking pedophilia is not just something that is
It's
an
really
option,
disgusting.
It's
right?
not. You
And
like
so-
everything.
But it got there somehow, and it's almost always from all the buyers that we have interviewed ourselves or partner organizations we work with. They tell us two things. They have an addiction to porn that has gotten out of hand,
Mm-hmm.
or they have sexual abuse in their past that they've never dealt with. And
Right.
so we send them a text message to a private website where they can get resources for help. They can find in all 50 states, wherever they are, addiction certified, trauma informed resources to get counseling, to enroll in a group, to find resources online, so that we can truly make lasting change and not just temporary change.
Right,
and
'cause-
deterrence.
It's
Yeah.
I love that it's a Christian-based organization.
Totally.
I love the rehabilitation part of it, and I've heard a testimonial that everyone can watch. They're going to have a virtual gala, and it's very compelling, of a man that got arrested, and your program rehabilitated him, and he found Christ. So, I mean, everyone's born with a little bit of good in them. People don't
Right.
just turn bad, and it's because of circumstances in people's lives.
Right.
Sure.
And social media is so bad these days. I mean, it's just, there's temptation
Fake
just
news.
everywhere. And you can't even block some porn sites. Like,
No.
if your kid is on their cell phone
Mhm.
and they accidentally spell POR into that Google
It
search,
goes straight.
there's going to be some stuff that comes up.
Mhm.
And there's some stuff that you can't even block. I mean, I don't know. As our audience, I don't know if you guys know that, but give it a shot, because it comes
Yeah.
blatantly right in their face, and
Your
it's
children.
free sites, and it's totally graphic, like down to the nitty gritty of raunchy porn.
Yeah, it surprise you and our listeners to know that the average age right now that a child views porn for the first time is only 9.
Isn't that crazy?
And that's despite whether they have the best blocking technology on
Right.
their computer. You don't even have to be spelling out those letters. You could just be searching for something totally innocent.
Yeah.
And it's a saturated part of our technology. And to think that kids can't get around it or accidentally be exposed to
They
it.
can.
Often their first exposure is through video games.
Yeah.
We're not talking Mario Kart of like when we were kids. These
Yeah.
are graphic video games that are incredibly lifelike, that are oftentimes featuring pornographic images and themes. There's actually a couple of games out there that, man, they're shocking. One of them is called House Party. You can play this game, and have you heard of this game?
I've heard of it, but
Yeah,
I've never seen
you
it.
essentially can, as the player, right? And this is on websites where there's, kids games as well. There's, yes,
It's a
an age
mix,
restriction,
yeah.
but that doesn't mean
It
much.
doesn't matter.
What the idea is behind this game is you're going around, it's set in a house party, and the idea is you're trying to get women to have sex with you. And you're able to use tools like drugs. You're able to use
What?
drugs to allure them. You're able to pay them, right?
all
game.
and kids have easy access to these right next to their Roblox or whatever.
Yeah, it
seventh
is.
graders
Yeah, it'll
Yes.
flash right there
It
on the
is.
side of the screen that they can play
Yeah.
it. I mean,
So
we
having
have to be so
conversations
careful.
is so important.
Oh, you have
because
to.
if you're relying on your parental controls or
No, it
the
doesn't work.
safety controls within an app, that's not the way that our kids are going to be.
No, you have to actually speak about it. You have to kind of take their innocence away because it's so a big deal that everyone is going through that you don't even know sometimes that your kids know things because they learn it from a kid at school that is going through abuse or something and they don't know, but you sometimes have to get to them before someone else can get to them.
Yeah,
That's something
You know,
that
to
like
tell
mom,
them
I don't
right
want to
or
hear
wrong.
that. Well,
Right.
you know
we
what,
talk
kid?
about that
Yeah.
at Street Grace all the time, is that if you aren't talking with your kids
Yes.
about this, someone else
It is. It's true.
The vast majority of kids today are not learning about sex from their parents. They're
Right.
learning about it from porn.
Yes, and
And that's really problematic because porn features overwhelmingly violent images and scenes,
Yes.
specifically toward women. It's very racially motivated, by the way. Most of the violence is toward women of color.
it is.
And so, to a young girl who doesn't know anything about sex, she's seeing that, oh, well, this is how I should operate in a relationship.
Exactly.
Violence is okay, and it should be celebrated, right? Because, of course, the actor always looks happy that
So
they're
happy.
being humiliated or degraded or harmed. So she thinks that. So actually, the research tells us she's much more likely to be sexually abused than a child that doesn't watch porn.
Wow.
And then conversely, when we're looking at boys, what are they learning? They don't know about sex until
Right.
they learn it from porn. They're learning that, well, I can just do whatever I want,
Right.
and everybody should be, every woman should be, a willing, compliant partner in that. And so that's what can lead him to a progression to eventually want to be around sex at a strip club, and then maybe an illicit massage parlor, and then
Right.
next thing you know, he's looking for a child to meet up with. Right? It's progressive, and nobody realizes that
It's-
that's
that it
the
happens
case.
like that, and
Mhm.
it does.
And
Yep.
it's acting like it's okay. If they're looking at this at 9,
Yeah.
what type of sexuality are they going to have when they're adults? I
Well-
mean, that's appealing their eyes very, very early
Way
on.
early.
And
You
that's,
know, get
you know,
hungry for
9
more. That's-
9 is prior to puberty in almost all circumstances. And our friends that are psychologists tell us that, they've seen client after client who they're in their 30s, 40s, 50s dealing with this sex and porn addiction, and they're getting to the root of it and realizing they were shown pornography or came across porn before they were developmentally able to understand what's happening.
Right.
And it's actually listed as a childhood trauma.
Oh.
And so the same as being sexually abused
Yeah.
or having a parent who's incarcerated or has an addiction,
Mhm.
that it affects the child in that way. And we know that
So
those kind of
innocent.
things
They are innocent.
can affect you even into adulthood and into the marriages not dealt with. So
Yeah.
it's something that we have to take very seriously. And the porn industry, zillion dollar industry,
Oh.
unfortunately they have kids. That's their target. That's their target audience because they know if they can get them hooked.
Well,
at
at
an
an
early
early age,
at an early age, then they'll continue to always
watch
watch. Exactly.
It's so disgusting.
It is.
And all these, where you can watch the girl online and stuff like that now. They've made it to where it's
You can
so
just watch
accessible.
everything.
There's
Mhm.
so many sites of these women exploiting themselves, and people are paying by the minute just to
Oh.
watch them do things to
Yeah.
themselves. And
Yeah.
I mean,
And oftentimes it's perceived as them exploiting themselves, but really it's somebody who's manipulated them.
Somebody's gotten to
and
them
said,
for it to start.
you will do this live video because they've built relationship with them, they've groomed them, and now they're threatening them and blackmailing. That happens all the time. Kids don't have to be abducted to be sexually
No,
exploited.
They
It
don't.
can be right from their living room, while
Yep.
mom and dad are in the other room.
Oh, that's
right.
true.
it's so
It's
crazy.
very true.
The other thing that I love that the gala is going to share is that simulation that you guys did for people to see what's actually going on in our
Mhm.
neighborhoods. And in our first lunch meeting, you pulled up all the red zones that are in
yeah.
my area
Mine too.
of sexually orientated businesses, or perhaps homes that they have people abducted in them, where
Mhm.
they're sex trafficking people in and out. And it's just insane to me. I mean, it's right in our suburbs, guys. It's just right. It could be your neighbor. I mean,
Saturated.
We have over 600 illicit massage parlors in Greece. And
Over
I know
600.
this has been quoted a number of times. You can find this in the Chronicle. The mayor has quoted this, but there are more illicit massage parlors than there are Starbucks.
Oh.
And so that is obviously a problem that
Very.
trickles down, and it contributes to that greater tolerance of sexual abuse that then affects our.
Right.
And it is something that is a massive problem in our city that we can't do something about until we start talking.
You have to
Start
talk about it.
yeah. And
Talk
it
to your
makes me
children.
so sick because, I mean, I'm a fan of bodywork therapy and massage. I mean, I studied it, I taught it, I taught sports massage, acupressure, and it makes me so sick that all these businesses are representing that, and there's prostitution involved going on in it, and that anyone that's in the industry can still put themselves in danger because people are just so sick-minded that they'll go to a proper place that's operating correctly, and they'll still solicit the therapist for sex. I mean, it's
problematic for business owners because some legitimate, massage chains, Massage Envy and those kind of places, there's certain big corporate giants like Lowe's and Target who won't even let them lease in their strip center because they don't want to be associated with the massage industry.
Which is true,
because so that's hurting legitimate massage therapy businesses, whereas these Asian reflexology foot massage places are often unlicensed, or they definitely have an unlicensed ATM in their lobby, and they're breaking all kinds of laws in addition to their brothel that's happening in the back door, right? And they're gaining profit on, from the front door, and of course they're not paying taxes on their secondary services, and so there's just so much money laundering and crime that's going on that affects our community and our legitimate business climate. So to say that it's not harming anybody, of course it's harming the women who've been brought here from Asia and are acting as a sex slave, but it's also harming our economy, really.
And our society and just our morality and everything that's involved in it. And and you'll see places get raided and then they'll just change their name and open back up. I don't understand how it's the same business owner, it's the same employees, it's the same people that are in the building. How are they opening back up like that? To me, and I'm not trying to put anybody under the bus, but it seems like somebody has to be getting paid off somewhere.
It's happening.
The landowners often are a part of this. It's a very large criminal network, and it's not just exclusive to maybe a couple massage owners in Houston know each other. No, it's an interconnected, very complex criminal network, and so that's why there are certain things that we can do as community members. We want to start going at it from a more civil level, from a little more local level of using things that are already paid for by taxpayer dollars. So like our fire marshals, our law enforcement. This isn't something where the raids and the busts are always best, but we can go in and we can get them on inspections, on health codes, on being open after a certain time, on, they're not supposed to have buzzer controlled doors, these kind of things where we can start shutting them down from a local level. And also that's part of what we do at Street Grace is we do policy work. We're not affiliated with any particular party or group, but we know that in order to really strengthen the prevention work that we're doing, we have to have laws in our state and other states that support what we do. And so, something we're pushing for this year is allowing landowners to, or folks that are leasing in a strip center, if they find out, oh, next door, there's a brothel and I have my business in the strip center, they can break their lease with no penalty, which currently as Los Angeles they can't. So that's something we're pushing for.
I don't blame you.
And we've had tons of, policy victories starting at that low level. And everyday citizens, if you see an illicit massage parlor in your neighborhood or the next door to the place you get sushi, all you can do is go online to the Texas Massage Board. You can see every licensed establishment. If they're not licensed, there's a place you can actually make a report. And it's really easy and it is helpful. Right away. Yeah,
that could help if everybody actually would get on board because it's a big deal.
Instead of just turn the other cheek.
More than Starbucks? I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, well, and this is human slavery too. These people are forced. A lot of them are forced.
They're not there because they're sober and just let's have a good day. My going to work day. No, they're drugged and manipulated. Unfortunately,
they've been brought here because they thought they were gonna work in a hotel or a restaurant,
a new
hospitality, and maybe send money home, and didn't realize that their documents would be taken. They don't speak the language, and oftentimes they move the women from massage parlor to massage parlor from state to state, so they aren't around long enough to get acquainted where they are,
to understand,
or location,
figure out how to escape,
like how to get somewhere,
to meet someone to figure out how to escape. It's sick. And you were saying that previously you were part of a rehabilitation process for victims. So tell us a little bit about what your home provided and everything for those girls, and what took them to complete rehabilitation.
And that's a really important part of the work that we do at Street Grace and Prevention is learning from folks that do work with restoration. And there's a lot of organizations devoted to fighting trafficking, and that's strategic.
Yeah.
because we have to have people all along the river is
Yeah.
kind of the analogy that
Yes.
we use. And so I started out at the end of the river. And so I've done work with survivors here in Houston as well as in India, and I lived in Africa for a time working with survivors globally.
Yeah.
And they require an immense amount of care.
Yeah.
In Texas alone, we spend $6.5 billion a year on services for survivors, which is reason enough to talk about prevention, right? But what
Yeah.
people don't realize is how important it is for them to get specialized care. They can't just go, perhaps they have a drug problem. Yes, most of them have been coerced and manipulated to getting drugs, or they're using it to cope with their horrific circumstances. So it's not the same as somebody who just has a drug addiction.
No,
Exactly.
it's not.
Somebody who
It's
It's
was
not.
PTSD. Talk
just
about PTSD.
sexually abused.
Yeah.
Every part of them has been affected by
Uh-huh.
this. Every inch of them, not necessarily just the trauma,
Right.
but even their deepest value of who they are as a human has been totally
Wiped
disrupted.
away.
And that is the role of the trafficker, of the pimp, is to make them think they are nothing.
Mm-hmm.
This is all they ever could be. Their family, their friends, nobody cares about them. And so you would be shocked at how difficult it is
To convince them
start a new
otherwise.
life.
Right.
Even when they have tons of tools at their disposal, they have all of the best therapy. We had equine therapy in our program, art therapy, certified addiction, certified trauma-informed counselors. We did. We had lived in a family style. This wasn't a clinical place to really get the feel of this
Of
is
a
what
home.
a family
A
and a home.
home.
You
Mhm.
belong here.
Mm-hmm.
And fantastic food. We had a pool and a hot tub and
Huh.
animals and just everything needed to create a place, a sanctuary to really restore and figure out who they are.
Yeah.
And so many of them chose to still walk out the door and go
That
back
they still go back.
to their
After all
an
of it.
It's
unimaginable
the
life.
brainwashing
It's
part
almost
of it.
like you have to keep them.
Mhm.
You can, this all costs so much money.
It does.
It's like you got to keep these girls, man, at least 3 years, and get them an education and get them 2 feet to stand
they
on.
need to feel the
they-
power of I can
yeah.
do this.
Yeah,
You know,
'cause
I
they
can get
used
out
to
of
that
it.
money too.
And it,
Yeah.
COVID was really problematic because you have survivors who've gone through a program,
Right.
right? And now they've lost their job
Oh.
and they've lost
man.
everything. And so what does that do? That triggers in them,
That they can't do it again.
oh, well,
I'm lost again.
what do I have now to fall
Right.
back on? Well, this is what I used to do to make money, and I can't make my rent.
I'll
'cause I
just
lost
take
my
this,
job.
numb my pain, and off I go.
Yeah, and so it's a
Oh,
vicious cycle, and
so
that's why I'm
sad.
so passionate about talking to students and teaching
Right.
parents and teaching community members that this is not something that has to happen to anybody,
No, it doesn't.
and it starts with really good, solid education.
It does.
Oh yeah, and there's predators everywhere that they'll prey on the underserved communities. And they'll
Oh.
find those children, and a lot of kids in foster care. They're mistreated in foster care, so they just find a way out.
Yeah.
And
Well, they go
escape and
from
they run
one
away.
bad to another bad.
Yeah, they're
I
just-
mean, they are taken away because there's bad, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
At least I have a choice of how I'm taking care
Right.
of myself, kind of.
kind.
Yeah.
Right.
instead of getting
60% of
abused.
kids actually that are in the child welfare system are affected.
Yep. I would
Huge
believe that.
percentage, and that's not just those that have run away, but those that have run away
Yeah.
are definitely a massive target, and that's where we see some trafficking of young men as well.
Yeah.
Is mostly in the runaway homeless population.
Yeah, it's not just girls.
No. No.
It's disproportionately girls, but there are young boys that are affected.
Mm-hmm.
Another way that is really the average American boy is affected is online video games.
Uh-huh.
Oftentimes there's an extortion tactic that is going on where they're playing these games. They're all free to play, but they require in-game currency to get upgrades, right, and to get more status in the game, to buy this weapon, to buy this level. So Predator on the other end is making friends. They're gaming together. He says, "Hey, I'll give you $100 right now.
Yeah.
Just send me a picture." And he's like, "Okay."
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
He doesn't
who
think
cares?
anything of
Think
it. Or
anything.
he probably thinks it could be a 17-year-old
You
girl
think-
on the
yeah.
other end.
Yeah.
Right? So he sends this photo. He's got his $100. He's on cloud nine. He's getting more likes and follows, and he's getting better at this game. And then he's getting more money, sending more photos. Eventually, he feels uncomfortable. He tells that person on the other end, "Hey, I'm done," and that's where the extortion comes.
Okay, we're gonna
wow.
go on break, but when we come back, we're gonna talk about some events that you guys can tune in for and help this charity out. We all need to come together as a community, so y'all stay tuned.
push me because I'm close to the edge.
I'm trying not to lose my head.
Hey, this is the Talk About Unity show where I bring the talk.
And I bring the unity.
And together we talk about unity. Unity is what matters.
Come on.
And right now in our country, that's what we've got to do. So we do that here at Talk About Unity on the Edge Radio Network. Be with us every week.
It's going to be awesome. It always is. And I tell you what, the more we seek first to understand, then be understood, we make progress.
And we like to do that. And that's why everybody's on the brink. We love what we do at Edge Radio because everybody's on the edge. We bring them back from the edge and we bring the unity. So we're just glad to Edge Radio Network every Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Talk about unity because here at Edge Radio Network, truth still matters.
The Natural Nation Network is really about taking control of your health physically, spiritually, emotionally, even intellectually, because there's so much out there in misinformation. There's a lot of people now that are suffering from all sorts of diseases that they really wouldn't have to suffer for if they had better information. And that's what we're here to do. Provide information that can save lives.
The mind and the body are totally connected.
Health can be really serious, and sometimes we just have to lighten it up a little bit while we're still providing substantive information.
And my sort of mantra on the salsa dance floor is kind of similar. I tell somebody, if you make a mistake twice, it becomes a move. Okay,
Tune into Natural Nation every Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Hi, welcome back to the Morning Edge Friday Feels. We have the Community Development Director, Brianna Fetkovich from Street Grace Charity. We've been having a tremendous conversation about the importance of sex trafficking in this climate right now and what this charity has done. They've saved over 200,000 kids from being abducted by sexual predators, and it's actually just an honor to have gotten acquainted with you. We're working on some events right now, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the virtual gala and how people can get involved.
Absolutely. We are so excited about this because this is not just something that only folks here in our community can take part of. This is something who, it doesn't matter where you are. You can be in London and joining in for our virtual gala. It might be in the middle of the night for you. But, so it's going to be October 29th, and it's going to be 6 o'clock Central Time. And you can register on our website at streetgrace.org. Super easy to sign up. And it's going to be a really fun night. We have some special guests. We have a comedian, we have some special folks in politics, and I don't want to give it all away, but some really fun things that are going to be happening. It's just going to be a night of awareness, a night of fun, a night of hope, understanding, a little bit more about human trafficking, what Street Grace is doing about it, and most importantly, what you can do, and how you can get involved as the everyday person.
Yeah, and if you want to expose your company at all and do sponsorships for the virtual gala as well, you can do that. So you can go to streetgrace.org and you can donate, and there's sponsorship tiers as well, so you can really get involved that way. The impact that this charity can make on a community is tremendous, and it all takes dollars, and we need to come together. I know when I first put this on my social media that I was wanting to do something for this, and this was before Dawn Stone introduced me to you. So many people were like, oh my gosh, if you do something, I want to get involved, Okay, So
We're here.
remember that.
We're here.
Let's get involved.
Here's your opportunity.
Yeah, tune in for the gala. It's a $35 registration.
That's
Create
right.
some
Right.
watch parties at your home.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
while you guys are all there, hey, hit streetgrace.org up and donate to the charity. Street Grace does not beg for money. They're a very Christian-based organization. They truly believe that God is working on what they're doing. But I'm going to tell you, they need it.
They need it.
We need to come together as a society, as a community, and stop this before it starts. Let's nip it at the bud. And then we're also going to be doing another event. Thank you so much for letting me host that
Of
over
course,
at
we're
Spenga
excited
in the
about it.
Woodlands. I've bragged about Spenga several times, and it's a spin, strength, and yoga session, 20 minutes of each, and your registration 100% goes to the charity. So hit up Claire at thewoodlandspenga.com and give her your information to sign up, or you can DM me. You can find me on Facebook, Nicole Giddens, and I'll sign you up for you. But yeah, we want just to come out and give back, and let's get this party started. You know, it's really
It's gonna be good.
important.
Spenga's awesome too.
What other
Yeah.
opportunity do you have to go to a gala in your pajamas?
I know. I was saying that.
Oh,
we
you
don't
could
get
do a
to.
pajama watch party.
We don't get to do that, but y'all do. We're gonna be somewhere with
Yeah,
it.
but no.
Wear your pajamas.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
pajama watch parties, I kind of like
I
that.
love
That's
that.
super cute.
I love that.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, it's time to stop talking about it and be about it and get involved. And the entertainment value for the gala is just so good. 512 New Media with Sam Malone is executing the whole production of it. And I'm very honored to be involved in it. And, you know, what he does isn't bad. He does good stuff, I have to say. Shout out to Sam Malone. So what else can we talk about before we end our segment?
You know, I just think that this is a problem that when people hear about it, they feel disgusted, and oftentimes they feel overwhelmed. When they find out that, you know, Houston is one of the worst cities in trafficking.
Yeah.
That in Texas alone, we have almost 80,000 kids affected by sex trafficking. That's a number that is just too big. I mean, if we break that down a little bit more, that's 2,000 yellow school buses filled with kids.
Oh my goodness.
That are affected by sexual exploitation every year. And so it can be easy to internalize and go, well, what could I do?
Right.
You know, this problem is really massive. It's national. It's global. It's affecting kids that are not the ones I necessarily thought. It's not just the at-risk kids. I could tell you the story of kids who are affluent or two parents who are affected by this. But every person has a role to play.
Right.
And they start by protecting their own family and seeing who is in their circle of influence to share this. But how can you share if you don't have information? So, you know, attending our gala or even an event, if fitness is your thing like Spenga, you're going to learn more about how you can get involved and just using your voice and using whatever you have, whether that's your business to be a sponsor or you're a parent and you want us to come speak to your school.
Right.
We speak to students, we speak to teachers, we train law enforcement, judges, we do business trainings, we do church training. So if you're listening to this right now and you're like, well, what can I do now? You know, maybe you're busy on the night of the 29th, and have us come speak to your school, to your business, to your mom's group, to your Rotary Club. And we don't charge for any of the trainings we do, and they're adopted specifically for whatever influence you have in the community, because you have a role to play in that.
I love that. Well, we need to set you up at the Rotary Club for Tomball for sure.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk to her about that.
Sounds great.
We got all kinds of stuff for you now.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, and I love that it's free and that you guys are donating so much time to help. I mean, it takes a village. This is our kids we're talking about here. We don't want to take away their innocence. It's already bad enough.
The news takes it away.
Yeah, yeah. And I know that, you know, TikTok is so popular these days, and that's such a sexually exploited platform really for kids, and it really detours them for morality, just, you know, what they find values in life, and there's a lot of detrimental information on there, but Street Grace is now on TikTok.
Yes, we are.
If you let your kids do TikTok, let them find the Street Grace TikTok.
So to find us on all of our social media, it's just Street Grace. That's our handle on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. But on TikTok, it's a little bit different. It is at Help Locker, like a school locker. And it's modeled after our program that we're launching in public schools here in Texas. And so that's how you can find us. It's powered by Street Grace. We have 100,000 followers, and we haven't even made this public yet.
Wow.
So go check out Help Locker. We really wanted to just meet students where they are. We're not saying, kids, if you don't have a TikTok, we're not endorsing that you go get a TikTok to follow us.
No.
But we wanted to really, like you said, infuse some truth into social media that is filled with conspiracy theories and lies and sexualized content, and TikTok being one of the main ones.
It is.
And so check us out at Help Locker and all of our other social media as well. We're always posting videos and helpful things for parents or teachers or students, or if you want to get involved in policy work and find out more about the gala, you can find us on social media.
Well, I will say that was the first time I wanted a TikTok, so I might get one just
they
for
are
Street
pretty
Grace.
good for us.
For my tortoises and Street Grace. I'll
Her and her tortoises. I'll have a whole show about your tortoises.
We are going to have a show about tortoises. Tune in. No joke.
You know, the power of influence is so very vital, you know, and we've got to pay more attention and not let the social media and these electronic devices babysit our kids. I get that, you know, our lives are busy and you feel like you're running around like crazy. I mean, I know for myself, I've been guilty of it, but we've got to pay attention. The time is now. I mean, our kids are our future. So, you know, be aware.
And I just want to add, don't think it won't happen to you. There you go. Don't, because always talk to your children.
Yeah, it's very, very dominant out there these days. And unfortunately, it'll happen and the child will feel guilty and it'll take a long time to tell you. So having the dialogue first before it happens to where they can feel comfortable and come to you right away, it's important. So tell our audience where they can find you and how they can donate. And
Absolutely. So you can find us on our website, streetgrace.org. Right there on the homepage, you'll see information about the gala. There's a donate page right there. You can also donate through our Facebook, actually. But I want you also to check out our resources tab. There you can find our Keeping Kids Safe in the Digital Age Handbook that you can download for free. Some of our videos, one of them is called Your Brain on Porn. It's animated, designed for kids. One's called What's the Big Deal with Sexting? If you want to figure out what's inside the brain of a trafficker, what makes somebody want to do this? We have trainings with our Homeland Security friends there for parents, all kinds of resources that are totally free. We also have all of this available in Spanish. We're working on that on our website, but you can find our contact information there. We can send it to you. We have Spanish resources.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, and that's vital in Texas.
Certainly.
Texas really needs it.
That was the reason we translated into Spanish. We really wanted to serve Texas.
Well, thank you so much for everything that you're doing, and I look forward to just continuing to help you guys out in the future. You guys check out streetgrace.org and stay tuned for next week's show. Thank you for watching The Morning Edge Friday Feels with Nicole Giddens and Brooke White, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.